do, Dream Team? It's your boy Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are back with our guy, Edinger. The major problem with the U.S. that no one is talking about. What your problem? It's a lot of them going on right now. You talking about the major one. We about to find out. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media and Patreon, all up top. You can subscribe to any of it. Follow the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. I'm human. I talk back. If you got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon, or in the description there's a Google form link. Well, we got Evan.
What is the biggest issue in America right now? Is it the daily mass shootings? Is it the lack of abortion rights? Is it the lack of basic workers' rights, or even any sort of nationalized health care at all? No, in fact, none of the above. It's one or two things that essentially are the root cause of each and all of America's problems, these included. Today we're going to be talking about, just to answer the title and thumbnail right away, money and the plurality voting system that plague.
Come on now, come on. You see the first money, because that's what America revolves around, is money. And the plurality voting system, you're going to have to talk to me a little bit more about that one. Notice, you're going to have to teach me some things, but keep it going.
We're going to be talking about, just to answer the title and thumbnail right away, money and the plurality voting system that plague America at the moment. Hi, my name is Evan Edinger, and I'm a British American who likes making videos on British American topics. Intro aside. I woke up this morning to loads of tweets about another 2 mass shootings that happened in the US yesterday on the 4th of July. Nothing screams America quite like screaming down Main Street, running away from a mass shooting with a beautiful bouquet of fireworks happening in the background. Happy Independence Day. Now, this was a horrible scene. I know I'm being sarcastic.
It gets to a point, where it gets absolutely sickening, but nothing changes. Nothing ever, and it's so frustrating. It's literally so frustrating. Their mass shootings are just ridiculous number of them, and it seems like there's becoming more and more of them. But still, we decided to change nothing. It's just gonna go away on its own, right? It's stupid.
Happy Independence Day. Now, this was a horrible scene. I know I'm being sarcastic and making jokes about it, but it's because holy shit is it hard to process that this happens so very often. Now, one of the most gruesome tweets that I saw from this whole thing was actually a girl whose face and body was absolutely covered in blood. She had a bullet wound grazing through her head, and she tweeted that she never expected to, but she has somehow survived a mass shooting. Holy shit. That's traumatic. I can't imagine having to go through that and somehow surviving literally being shot by a mass shooting. You just go to a parade to celebrate your country, and then you walk away traumatized for the rest of your life. Now, I want you to try and guess what you think the top reply to this tweet was. All right, it's a girl covered in blood, bullet wound to the head, survives a mass shooting. What was the top reply? If you guessed, is it thoughts and prayers? You're close. In fact, I would say thoughts and prayers would somehow be a better reply. It'd be slightly considerate to the person, but no. The top reply was this. This is why we gotta vote blue. This?
My Lord.
Okay, interesting.
My Lord, like, I'm so tired of the blue, red, the Democratic, Republican. No matter who's in power, these things happen. These things continue to happen. It's frustrating. Like, I don't care which side, these things continue to happen. Nothing has changed. That's just the way I see it. My bad.
This? That. Okay, interesting. Now, I know that, like, taking a course in logical reasoning isn't mandatory in college these days, so let me just try and break down what this tweet is essentially insinuating, allowing us to infer. So, someone has just gotten shot in the face, and in reply, he is making the argument, well, this is why we need to vote blue. Therefore, implying that if we vote blue, you, person who I'm just inconsiderately replying to without even saying anything about your wound, if we vote blue, you won't get shot in the face anymore. In fact, no one will. So sorry, just, if we vote blue, this won't happen anymore. So I got to thinking about that statement, and I was like, well, let's just look at the branches of the US government. Executive branch, we got the president. That's Joe Biden. We got a blue guy in there. Evan, the executive branch doesn't do much. What about the other ones? Okay, this legislative branch, that's of course the House of Congress. We have the House of Representatives. We got a blue majority. However, in the Senate, we do have a majority there. It's a small one, but That's all three, actually. We got a majority in the three major parts of the U.S. government that can enact laws. So, wait, so we did vote blue, and people are still getting shot in the face.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Thank
It's
you.
almost as if that doesn't actually do anything to enact change. It's weird, the thing that you will try and squeeze your political viewpoint in. Someone's gotten shot in the face and you're saying, this is why we need to vote blue. Bitch, we did vote blue. Nothing changes. That's what blue is about.
Tell him, Evan. Let him know, Evan. Talk to him. Preach,
Blue.
my guy.
Bitch, we did vote blue. Nothing changes. That's what blue is about. You can hate on Team Red, the Republicans, all you want, but they are at least very vocal about what they are and what they're going to do. We're going to make sure we slowly strip rights away to people that we don't believe deserve them. We're going to make sure more money goes to the people at the top. You know what? They say they're going to do that. Democrats, they just don't do anything. Their goal is to just sit around doing nothing while everyone's rights slowly go away. So would you rather them go away fast with Team Red or slowly with Team Blue? You really can't win in the States now, can you? It's a horrible system. I mean, speaking of, let's just talk about abortion. Women's rights have basically just been stripped away in the States because the new Supreme Court said, the old Supreme Court had it wrong. Now, truth be told, I know that not many of you would have had years of U.S. history in which you had to write political essays on whether or not Roe versus Wade made any sense and ethically debating whether or not abortion is a good idea or not. Just as a quick aside, when I was in 11th grade, I did write an essay saying abortion should be illegal. So, there's that. People can change. But the thing about Roe versus Wade is that it was the Supreme Court kind of shoehorning in the Constitution, this 200-year-old document, trying to make abortion fit with that. It doesn't really. It's a bit of judicial activism, but it's not quite a good interpretation of a law. Does that mean that whoa, Evan, are you against abortion?
What did that say? The practice in the judiciary of protecting or expanding individual rights to decisions that depart from established precedent or are independent or in opposition to supposed constitutional or legislative intent.
But it's not quite a good interpretation of a law. Does that mean that whoa, Evan, are you against abortion? No. The way they did it was kind of like a really tiny Band-Aid on a gaping wound. However, it was a good thing so that more women could get abortions if they'd like the rest of modern society, and everything would be fine as long as it was codified in law in the future. Something that you would assume the Democrats would do. If you're unaware of how the U.S. system of government works, well, the Supreme Court don't make laws. They just kind of look at laws, check precedents, and go, oh, this Constitution kind of vibes with it. This is good. And it's the Congress that actually do stuff. We've had so many blue majorities in which the Congress have done absolutely nothing to protect women's rights. In fact, everyone's favorite blue captain, blue team leader, Barack Obama himself, his campaign filled with hope. He campaigned saying when he gets made president, he is going to codify Roe versus Wade. He is going to protect women's rights. And then as soon as he became president, he's quoted as saying, it's not really my top legislative priority. Can you believe it? Everyone's favorite blue man says women's rights are just not a priority to him. Sorry, guys. What's a priority for Obama, though? What did he do? Yes, he absolutely bailed out all the major corporations and banks during that big recession and then made sure to enact these horrible laws against immigrants abroad, making them have to give more into the banking system in the U.S. So that's quite interesting. So the executive branch of the U.S. government, the president and whatnot, horribly corruptive towards money and not actually towards the rights, even when we got a blue guy in power. Hate to see it. But let's just think about Congress then. They're not corrupted by money, right? Did you know that legally, members of Congress, members of the Senate are allowed to buy, sell, trade shares in companies? And they fight it. They actually fight. Nancy Pelosi, the speaker, for the longest time until very recently was like, there's nothing wrong with us having shares. As if anyone that's like a child can't understand the basic concept of a conflict of interest. If I'm a member of Congress and I've got a couple shares in Google and they're under fire for some privacy stuff, 90% of the American public go, we do not want this law to pass, but I'm going to make a lot more money if
Come
it does
on
pass.
now.
Do you?
It is the world, or America, I won't say the world. It revolves around money. Money rules. The top 1% run things here. Know what I'm saying? We have a lot of politicians influenced by the money. By the money. So wherever the money is at, that's where they go. Like he said, 90% of America could say this, but, well, I'm going to make more money if I do the opposite of what they want. So I'm going to go with the money. It's sad. It's a harsh reality, but it's a fact.
Do not want this law to pass, but I'm going to make a lot more money if it does pass. Do you think that's a hypothetical? It is not. It is a real situation that happens. And the fact that that is allowed is just another example. Now we've got the executive corrupted by money. Now we've got the legislative part of the government corrupted by money. It's horrible. But thank God, we've got that final check and balance. The founding fathers, they knew this would happen, all right? And they put the third branch, the judicial branch, to be the bastion of justice. They're not meant to be red. They're not meant to be blue. They're actually meant to be purple, a little bit of royalty. But that's not actually the case. The case is, whenever a member of the Supreme Court dies, the president in power puts the most left-leaning or most right-leaning person he can on the court. So that way he gets what he wants. Unless the Republicans make sure that the blue team actually can't do that, and then they stack the court in their favor. But for the most part, it is not at all unbiased or unjust. But at least we know it's not swayed by money, am I right? Would you believe it is fully legal for members of the Supreme Court to accept bribes? I'll just repeat that. Members of the Supreme Court can and do every single year accept hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of luxury trips and expensive gifts, all from different people who just coincidentally have hearings coming up in the Supreme Court. That's totally fine. That's a good system. There's no conflict of interest there. Money, really beautiful. Anthony Scalia, who recently passed away, was a member.
It's legal? I'm not saying that I didn't think that they were taking him. Know what I'm saying? Because I believe to get to that position in power, most people, I won't say all, but most people have done some dirt, have some dirt on their hands, have accepted some money, have been influenced by certain factors. They are not unbiased people. But I didn't know that it was actually legal to accept them. That's like there's nothing else that needs to be said.
Interest there. Money, really beautiful. Anthony Scalia, who recently passed away, was a member of the Supreme Court. And can you believe he actually died in a hunting lodge in Texas, where he was flown business class out there by a guy who owns a business who just happened to have a court hearing coming up at the Supreme Court? Can you believe it? It's just wild that every single branch of the U.S. government is so horribly corrupted by money, and we just have to accept it. The founding fathers had all these checks and balances, but none of them were checking or balancing money. We've had some attempts. Citizens United, though, the U.S. courts went, actually, giving money is a freedom of speech. Give as much money as you want. Nothing conflict of interest there. It's just really, really sad. And I feel like as an American, you're probably screaming, going, well, I feel trapped. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How do we fix this situation? And there is actually one solution. Fix the voting system. That's it. Sounds really simple. Plurality voting, the current system in government that we currently have, in which we vote for, at the end of the day, one of two parties. That's all that's going to happen with plurality. It's always going to end up with one of two parties. Mean that you're going to have people that you don't actually want to vote for. The fewest amount of your voices are heard. Whereas if we possibly switch to, let's just say, the runoff style that Australia has, which, yes, the runoff style has its own flaws, sure, but it's still leagues better in terms of having your voice heard and have what actual policies you want enacted. We're
required to mark preferences 1, 2, 3, and beyond. Oh! Means we can calculate a two-party preferred vote, whether you ultimately prefer Labor over the coalition or
leagues better in terms of having your voice heard and have what actual policies you want enacted than the plurality system. And even that, can you imagine, guys, if that America that you were brainwashed into believing when you were a kid existed so much that they wanted to be this bastion of freedom and justice and choose the democracy that makes the most people have the most voices heard? Can you imagine a world in which we enacted a ranked voting system in the US, in which you get to choose like who you want the most and then your second bet and your third bet, so that way instead of a two-party system where no one's voice is heard, you actually get people on the ballot you're interested in?
I like
every single year it turns around and it feels like it's every year, honestly. Election year comes around and yet we're given two terrible options that are just forced on our face, and people go, if you don't vote for blue, you're a piece of shit. And it's like, there is no good option here. It's like you're a child and your mom says, hey son, for dinner we're gonna have moldy bread or sour milk. Which do you want? And you have to be like, anything else? Maybe a burger, maybe a piece of non-moldy bread? And your mom goes, absolutely not. You have to choose those. And your friend goes,
bro, shout out Evan Edinger, because he is talking straight facts right now. He is preaching straight facts. We're basically left to choose, like, know what I'm saying? Who's gonna the least worst of the two? Not because you support what, know what I'm saying? the candidate, not because you think he's amazing, you think he's gonna do great things, he or she is gonna do great things, but because you vote for them because you didn't want that. You think that other person is more evil, so you're choosing the lesser of two evils. You like, yeah, this candidate's not good, but that one's worse, and that's basically how it is.
Maybe a piece of non-moldy bread, and your mom goes, absolutely not, you have to choose those. And your friend goes, hey man, you better pick moldy bread. Every once in a while there's a little bit less mold, and I want to make sure I get less mold in my bread. It's a really terrible analogy, but also that's kind of basically what our system is. Even as a small child, you would recognize this is not a fair system. You do not have your voice heard in the slightest. You don't want to eat either of these. I know it's a stupid analogy, but it's basically the system of government that's currently happening. And I wish there was a way, I truly do, that we could just all vote to have this ranked system in place. It's just that the two groups that have the most power in the US, of course that being the Democrats, which are ruled by their corporate overlords, and the Republicans, also ruled by their corporate overlords, well, those two groups are absolutely not going to vote for that. They are not going to vote to remove any of their power, to lose any of their money. Anytime the red team is winning, blue is like, guys, give us all your money so that we can win and then do nothing. I mean, enact all the stuff you want. And then as soon as blue comes, every one of the red goes, guys, give us all your money. It's just getting more money to either of these sides, and not actually, well, at least in terms of Team Blue, doing anything with it at all. Like I said, hate red all you want, but god damn it, are they actually good at getting what they want done? Whereas blue just doesn't do anything. And as an American who no longer lives in the US, like obviously I'm very thankful to live in a country that I think makes more sense. Obviously the UK is currently run by the Tories, has some issues. It has many issues, but at least they pass laws, you know, at least the main thing that government is meant to do actually is able to do them. Do I support them? Not really at the moment, but at least the system of voting makes a bit more sense than the one that happens in the US. And with this, all the news about like the mass shootings, like every single day, everything with the abortion rights being taken away, it's so upsetting to constantly feel shamed at being an American, and it's just a really defeating feeling that nothing will ever change. It'll always be like this, and there's nothing we can do about it. And I hate being like that. I know there's a lot of YouTubers that are gonna be like, you have to encourage people to vote. It's the only thing we can do. And I'm like, but is it doing anything? If you're voting for people that don't do anything except allow us to slowly lose our rights versus voting to have them quickly taken away, can we not somehow just enact a voting policy or just somehow get a grassroots campaign in to change that? The only thing I can do in my position of a man with a YouTube channel with nearly 700,000 subscribers is just talk about this issue, as it does hurt. Obviously, I'm very proud to now be in England, to have a British passport, to be a British citizen, and yet it's my home country, you know? And as much as I like making videos about little things and poking fun and stuff on this channel, it still does hurt. It really does to witness my home country just crumbling around and seeing so many people suffering and dealing with a truly broken system with no escape. And I don't know how to end this video positively, except I hope you learned something. I don't know. I just really hope that something happens in the US, but I just also know that it won't. How many mass shootings does it take before they do anything? After Sandy Hook, still happening. I mean, it's that Onion tweet every single time. That tweet. Anyway, I hope that you're having an okay week. I hope that things ameliorate, but I don't know. I'm feeling very defeated. If you want to post anything in my comments that are mildly feel goody to make me feel like there's something that can fix this whole situation, I would appreciate it. Other than that, next week, I'll be making a lighthearted video because this is a bit deep for me. I'm going to take a little break from the internet and paint my house. Thanks for watching. I will see you on Sunday. Goodbye.
Bro, everything he said I agree with. It's just frustrating. We live in a country where it's profit over everything. Not just profit over people. Profit over everything. And it sucks. And you really, like you said, it's like, what can you do to change it? Like, no matter what party you vote for, things aren't changing. Stuck with the choice of moldy bread or sour milk. Choose, you know what I'm saying? Lose-lose situation. Pick your poison. That's all we got for this one. If you guys got a favorite video you want to see me react to, you can subscribe to Patreon, or in the description section there's a Google form link. Hit the link, fill out your suggestions, send it to me. Want me to get to yours faster than others, fill out premium. Make sure you hit subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. social media, Patreon, all up top. You know, subscribe to any of it. Follow the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team on YouTube. It's your boy D. Neal. Out.